football. San Antonio's Brahmas' finest kicker, Donald D. LaHaye, has fractured his neck. Man, that's crazy. Have you heard anything about this, James?
Yeah, this was horrible to hear about, and the fact that it happened in the UFL too, and not like NFL,
Yeah,
is also kind of interesting because that's kind of a farm league for the NFL now.
pretty much, yeah. And for many people, he goes by Deestoying. He's big on YouTube for his football content and him traveling, helping young players, giving them shine. You heard about him before?
No, I remember something. So, if I'm correct, when the play where he broke his neck, didn't he like get up and walk off the field himself?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I did see something like that. But when they were talking about him, like, because I saw a lot of people pouring out on social media, but I didn't know who he was.
What? Yeah.
I just thought it was just one of those, like, any player that gets hurt like that, you're just wishing him well. But I didn't know he was well known.
Yeah, I mean, well, on YouTube, yeah, he is. I actually watched a few of his content. It's pretty good. Um, yeah, just to get us started, man, how dangerous was this incident for him?
This was horrible, and This is just another thing for people to point at football and say that maybe it's too violent or too dangerous.
Yeah. And we were kind of talking about that last time. Yeah, it was very dangerous, man. I mean, the fact that he's a kicker, he's not in the NFL, and he's getting hurt like that. But I understand at the same time, you got to take one for the team, to stop that. If y'all were in that position, like, what would you do if you had to stop a defender and you're like a kicker?
I would still make the play because I like even though like they're kickers, like you still have to make a tackle. Like it's like the equivalent to where if a quarterback throws an interception, he can make a saving tackle. Now,
Yeah.
Usually they don't because if they get injured, then
Yeah.
it messes up the team's groove on offensively. But I think it's like the equivalent. Like I said, like a quarterback throwing a pick,
Yeah.
or you can say like a punter, like they're trained to keep their eyes on the ball. So
Yeah.
like you don't know if a guy's incoming, and then once they swat your leg, sometimes. Cause I know there was a Dallas punter, like 15 years ago, that when his punt got blocked, he broke his leg.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so like those guys are just at injury risk is just like everyone else in my opinion.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
still sad to see though.
It is. It is. And he's hit a 16-yard field goal and a 46-yard punt against Toronto. So, he's a pretty good kicker. I actually seen him, on YouTube, and I didn't know he was a kicker at first. I thought he was like a wide receiver type, but it was like kicker. It was surprising, for sure. And then the second question, man, will this incident make more upcoming kickers be aware not to tackle defenders, or you think they still will, kind of coming into the league?
I think they're going to change the way they try to make plays on people running the ball back.
Yeah.
And also, like, kickers in general, this is not a physical position. So maybe they're not used to the beating that the other players take.
Yeah, definitely. How you feel about it?
I think they'll still try because I mean like usually like occasionally for the NFL, obviously they're changing the kickoff rule this year, but like how many usually when like once it's time for the kicker to make a tackle, people are just blowing right past them. So
Yeah.
I just think like usually I think it's like a not a once in a lifetime instinct because this can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
But I think they'll still try from the aspect of like because let's say the game is online where they return this kick, the game's over.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on what's going on, but I think they'll still try.
Try? Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. They'll probably try not to get injured. Maybe try to tackle them in a certain type of way, but it's not gonna stop. I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon, you guys. So y'all let us know how y'all feel about just his injury. So it was speculations though that the Chiefs might have wanted to get him to come to the NFL. Will this incident kind of stop him from getting to play in the NFL, or do you think he'll heal up pretty soon?
It just depends on how the injury heals and I guess how his body works afterward. But as a kicker, I think he'd be able to still continue to have a career.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, and a lot of people were kind of saying, like, it's his neck, he still should go out and kick. But it's like, I wouldn't risk it. How you feel?
I just think it just depends on the injury. 'Cause I know there was one player, I forgot his name, that like when he broke his neck, they had to put a plate in his neck. Now, if it's something like that, I could understand a team backing off. But if it's not to that variety, I don't. I think he should be good.
Yeah.
To return. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Just got to be careful for sure. But prayers definitely going out to him. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about him, and yeah, I can't wait to see him. I hope the Chiefs get him for sure. And then my last final topic before I pass it over to you.
J&J Sports coming to y'all with more in 2024.